Guys, hey, it's your girl Erica Vane here for Create Her Collective. I have the beautiful, talented Novi Brown here from BET SISTAS. You're also in a short that's here, right?
Yes, Baldwin Beauty by Tembi Banks.
I love it.
Yes.
So let's jump right on into the interview. Is this your first Sundance?
This is my second Sundance.
Second, okay. So how has this one been different from your first?
Child, I'm not working. I'm actually an actor in it. So the first time I came, I was actually working at the Macro Lodge.
Oh, really?
Because I work with Shea Moisture for a lot of their things. You know, doing events, you know, when you're hustling, doing your thing in the back. And I was the person to literally be unpacking stuff and hanging people's coats and, hey, Robbie Reed, do you need, come on in? And you know, the whole thing. And now I'm here 2 years later with a full-time job as an actor and with a film in Sundance. So anything's possible.
I love that.
Yeah.
So how has it been? What's been your favorite moment of this year's festival?
Meeting these beautiful Black people. Period.
Well, that's different because this year is like, hi, it's us everywhere.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't like this a few years ago.
It wasn't even like this last year. Like, I actually went to a few panels and I don't know if I should say this, but there were a couple, thank you so much for being here.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, so.
We have to show up though. Like the thing is about in our community, because it goes both ways, we have to show up. Period. You know, especially in the media space right now, I think it's so important. It's the way that shapes our community and our subconscious. And if we, especially as Black women, want to be protected, if we want to be honored, respected, then we need to show up in these spaces and work with each other and collaborate.
I love that. And I want to touch upon that more in this interview because that's one thing that our platform really focuses on.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how you got started with your creative career, because you're not just an actress, you model, you're a photographer. Like you said, you've been hustling before. Talk to me about how you got into a creative space.
My mother.
Okay.
My mother is a forever nomad. She raised me in Germany. That's where I was born, Berlin, Germany. I lived there for about 12 years on and off. But within that time, I would travel a lot. And I think that curiosity, if you just keep stoking that fire for a kid, they want to know more, you know? And so my mom put me in acting classes and piano and that just started tapping into my creativity. And at 17, I said, Mom, I want to be an actor. She's like, all right, go do it. And I figured I was overweight at the time and I wasn't comfortable with my body. So I was like, let me go into modeling because I would force myself to be comfortable at whatever size I am, you know, because that's just how the modeling world is. And I was living in New York City, and New York is really just more about personality. Like if you have to look, natural girls be popping out in New York. So if you're a model and you're a natural, definitely go to New York. There's a huge market for you there. And it's kind of body positive there. It could be a little bit hard to hustle just in the modeling world, obviously. But you know, some cultures are better than others. Some places are better than others. And so I did that. And then I went to City College, CCNY. And I have a degree in theater. I graduated magna cum laude, made my mom proud.
Yes.
But I did switch my major like 18 times. You know, I changed my mind and I was like, yo, I think I want to be a forensic scientist because I was watching too much CSI, you know, and I'm just like, I want to do that. But then I realized it was 21 classes. I said, never mind. So yeah, I started going from there, excuse me. And then, I was modeling, I was doing commercial work, and I booked a really big commercial, actually, organic root stimulator. I don't know if anybody remember that. Yes, ORS, and I was like flinging my like flat iron hair all over the place, you know?
Yes.
And I got a really big check from that. So I took that check and I moved over to Los Angeles because I was like, I gotta do this thing after I graduated college. Yeah.
So would you say at 17, it was the moment you knew that you were supposed to be acting, or has another moment come up where you were maybe on set and it was just like, I am really supposed to be here?
Like, honestly, I don't remember. Like, I don't remember a lot of things from when I was younger. I don't know why. I feel like maybe, I don't know if I'm the only one. I'm sure I'm not. But you know how some people can be like, oh, when they're 6, that's the only thing I wanted to do. And I'm not that kid. I'm interested in everything, you know? I'm interested in many, many things. I don't want to be put in a box. So I think just from doing so much different expressing and trying out different things, I felt like acting was the thing that allowed me the most versatility. It allowed me the compassion to be able to connect with strangers. It allowed me the travel, you know, it allowed me the freedom of expression. And when all those things kind of collaborated together, I was like, damn, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Yeah. So would you give that as advice to young people who are creative and have nowhere to go or can't think of what venue to allow that to express in?
Absolutely. Try everything.
Yeah.
You know, you're here to explore as a human being. So you just try everything. You might be an amazing sculptor. You might be an amazing baker. You might be an amazing painter. You don't know what you're great at until you try it, you know?
Try some things. I love that too. So talk to me about Baldwin Beauty, your short film that's screening here at Sundance.
Oh my goodness.
How did you become a part of the project, and then tell us about it?
It's so crazy how everything is just happening in my life for me. But Baldwin Beauty came across my manager's desk, and I auditioned. But I had auditioned for Powder Keg's production before. Powder Keg is run by Paul Feig from Freaks and Geeks. So it's specifically for LGBTQ and people of color. You know what I'm saying? And from there, I got the audition, and I actually had a call back for a different thing that they had, a different show, and it was like for the lead, but I didn't get it. So then they brought me in for something else, because that's what they do. Like when they start to like you or whatever the case may be, then they'll bring you in for something else. I auditioned for this role, and I got like a supporting role. That's where I met Raven Goodwin. I met Tristan J. Winger on there, and I met Tembi Banks. And Roche Jeffrey as well. She's a writer and actress. So I just met a lot of creatives on there. And then that was that. It was one day shoot. I didn't hear anything. About almost like a year later, I think they were like, "Oh, we're having the premiere." I said, "Oh snap, we get to see it now," because a lot of artists know that you don't get to see your work. But and then a few months after that, I got the Tyler job. So it
just lined up.
It literally just went.
I love that.
It's crazy.
Well, talk to me a little bit about the work up until, because if you look on your IMDb, there are, you know, a string of projects. Like you literally have been hustling.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about your previous work, but then also give advice to aspiring actors when it comes to the jobs and how to line this up and build this career?
Lord, just pray a lot and cry a lot. It's stressful. It's a stressful thing, especially depending on what kind of artist you want to be, right? That's something I want definitely young artists to remember your legacy. Like just think about your legacy. I understand sometimes the money looks good or you think this deal looks good, but just think about your legacy. And for me, I've been doing a lot of indie projects and a lot of, I did the reenactment thing. I played Felicia Rashad's mother on Celebrity Ghost Stories, okay?
Oh, wow.
And, now she's in Tyler's production, and I was at the premiere a couple weeks ago, and I saw, you know what I'm saying? It's just so crazy how everything lines up. But you just have to keep doing things. I say always challenge yourself. Take risks in the room. If let's say a dialect has been on your mind, then dive into that and make that dialect, make it happen. And just take projects that you feel comfortable with. There was one project I can definitely talk about where it sounded really cool, and I was like, yeah, because I want to be very versatile. My portfolio is pretty versatile, and it was like, oh, my head was supposed to be chopped off, and I was supposed to like lay in the bed, and my head was talking, and I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. I want to be a talking head. But when I found out there was no makeup artist, and I found out there's like no real CGI, there's just those kind of things that made me feel uncomfortable. So I said, absolutely not.
Right.
And I did not go to that job. So it's just using discernment. Yeah.
So piggybacking a little bit off of where we left off, what would you say has been the hardest lesson you've learned in your career so far?
Like, how much of a Scorpio do I want to be right now is the question I'm asking myself. The hardest part is being disrespected on set. It is showing up to set and no one knows how to do your makeup. No one knows how to do your hair. It's extremely disrespectful because I'm your coworker, I'm your peer. And you have a job to fulfill, I have a job to fulfill. We're supposed to work together as teammates. And so that's very frustrating. Even last year, I had to prep my own hair for set. Wow. And I came with my little twists in, and they started freaking out because, why? You're not educated on the prep of Afro hair?
Yeah.
And then when I took it out, they were like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And
of course.
Exactly. So that is the most frustrating part because my face has to be on screen, right? Mm-hmm. Who else is more visible than the actor? It's us. It's us out here promoting and talking and doing all the things. So if I don't feel physically comfortable in myself, then how can I fulfill my job? So that's actually really, really stressful. Mm-hmm. And I make it a point to work with my manager to rectify those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have your team like really speak on your behalf, go beforehand in projects of like, hey, do we know for sure? I love that.
Yes.
And I think that also speaks to in life, not being afraid to speak up for yourself, not being afraid of your voice, because you're in that room for a reason. You were hired for that job for a reason, whether you're an actor or, you know, an account exec, like you need to speak up. You need to speak up in your space. Your voice matters.
Period.
Right? I love that. So you talked a little bit about collaboration earlier. Can you tell me what role collaboration has played in your career thus far?
I mean, I can't do anything by myself. I couldn't even get here by myself. My mother helped me with my gas. You know what I'm saying? She helped me buy a car. She helped, like one of my best friends lent me her, she was my guarantor on my apartments because my credit was so horrible for all of these years. You know, she lended me her credit so I can make my dream happen. Life is a team sport. That's it, period. And I love production because it's the ultimate team sport, right? There's literally, when you see those credits roll, you just, whoa.
All of those people.
All of those people. So I just really want people to remember that. There's nobody more important than somebody else. I'm not more important than a PA. You know what I'm saying? I'm not more important than a focus puller. I'm not. We're collaborators.
Yes.
Yeah.
And who is on your list to collaborate with that you haven't collaborated with yet?
Oh, child, I got a long list.
Well, let's hear it. Yes.
Oh, yeah, let's manifest it. Samuel L. Jackson, because he's the
okay.
hardest working man in Hollywood, and I definitely get to learn some things from him. Right?
Okay.
Obviously, Kerry Washington. Scandal was like my Shakespeare, I think. Also, Ryan Coogler. I'm just saying, like Black Panther or whatever.
Ryan.
You know, Ryan.
I would definitely PA.
All right. I'll hold the light in the back. Don't even give me a line. Forget it. I would like to work with him. I'd really, 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 really love to be on screen with Jamie Foxx.
Oh, Just Mercy.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh yeah, you still got it.
Yeah. Yeah. I want, yes. So them and, Toni Collette. She's so great. The United States of Terra was such a great show. She played like 8 different personalities in the show. I just love people who are so skilled at their craft that I know I'm going to learn something from them. Yeah, so I have a long list of collaborators and a lot of newcomers out there that I haven't met yet. I'm looking for y'all too.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you most excited about in the industry right now?
I'm excited for us Black women to get this money, honey. I'm excited for these opportunities. I'm excited for the multiple streaming services. I'm excited for the endless opportunities that are really laying on our feet.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the conversation change. I'm excited for the deeper conversations that people are yearning for at this point with art. You know what I'm saying? I think we're coming to a more natural phase, right? Everybody wants to be an individual and want to be honored and respected for who they are. And those stories are going to be really interesting. And the fact that we get to be a part of that bridge is crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
I interviewed Winston Duke a couple days ago because he's here for 9 days.
That's right.
And he was talking about hoping that it's not a trend, but the need for the more nuanced versions of us in film and telling more complex stories and really getting into things like mental health and how it's a really great time right now, but we have to keep pushing.
That's right.
It could easily become a trend, but right now it's like, okay, the floodgates are almost open. And then Elle Lorraine of Bad Hair was speaking on a panel, and she talked about how a couple of seasoned veterans in the game, like Black actresses, have approached her before and was just like, how amazing is it that you actually get to be yourself? Because years ago, as they were coming up, it wasn't a thing of you being able to be yourself. How do you feel?
I feel free.
Yes.
I say it all the time to my friends. I'm like, do you understand, first of all, it's safer for women in the industry? I've had to think about that all the time. You know, a lot of people want to test you. And so that's happening. And it's just an incredible, incredible, incredible time. And a lot of those Black actresses who sacrificed their identities and their comfort just so that they can pave this open doorway so I can be comfortable, so I can do whatever I want. I have to honor that. I have to honor that process and continue carrying the baton and break down whatever other limitation there is so that the next group can do their thing.
I absolutely love that. I love that. So can you tell me which of your peers are you, if any, drawing inspiration from right now as you are charting what's next in your career and you figuring out what you want to do next?
Absolutely, like Jamie Foxx,
Okay.
right? He's just so versatile. Will Smith.
Yes.
Come on now. It's Will. 10 consecutive #1 box office. Can't nobody take that from you, sir, ever. Who I love versatility. So any artist who's just Samuel Jackson, Angela Bassett,
Yes.
Cicely Tyson,
Yes.
and I've been next to these people. Okay, like keeping my cool though, girl. 'Cause I was like, I don't want to be on set, but
Exactly.
but yeah, I mean, people who show longevity and versatility. Those are the people that I connect with the most.
Gotcha. And how are you going about your goal setting?
Oh, girl, I'm going so hard. You know what I'm saying? Look, there's thousands of shows online. There's thousands of shows everywhere. So, okay, great. I have a great show with a great company, but I have to do the work. I can't just sit at home and hope people that will invest in what I have to say as an individual, as a creative. I have to show myself. I have that visibility right now, so I'm gonna go really hard. And I'm gonna show you guys, especially my Black queens, this for us, because that's my life mission, to create a space for us and stories for us that make sense. And other people are invited. You know, we never exclude anybody.
Right.
But it's about just creating a different type of dialogue, like we're saying. And I'm not just an actress. I want to make that very clear. I'm a creative, period. Like, I'm a storyteller, period. And that's for anybody else who feels that way in their life.
Yeah. You're
not just one thing. You're not just a mom. You're not just a CEO of whatever company. You're not just that or this. You're multiple things. You're endless. You're limitless. So I came here, obviously, to celebrate my life and what's going on.
Yeah.
But I have a show that I'm working on that will be bigger than Game of Thrones, mark my words.
We heard it here first.
Okay? Mark my words. That's one, me speaking into existence, and two, me knowing what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But it's going to be bigger, and it's going to be specifically for us.
I'm here for it.
And the whole world is going to enjoy it, whether they want to or not.
Okay.
And yeah, that's going to be my thing. And I feel like that is part of my legacy plan, you know? And also I do want some people to think about longevity. Like, you should be okay to step away from anything in your life. So put yourself in that position where you are able to step away.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm working on right now. Like, I have this amazing job, but as an actress, sometimes you just, you go from job to job. That's almost the same mentality as paycheck to paycheck.
Yep.
And as we were talking a little bit earlier, like, you're a writer, you're a producer.
Yep.
You want to make sure your portfolio is versatile and you're not stuck.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So jumping from the goal setting and the hustling, how do you also build in self-care? That you are good to be able to get out here and make this show and get on the set and network.
Massage.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
I smoke weed. It's a great relaxer.
Okay.
I make sure that I eat really good food because I'm a foodie. I make sure that I have great conversations that enlighten my spirit and keep me vibrating high. I love to listen to like Tony Robbins, Abraham Hicks, Lisa Nichols, Wes Brown, like all these inspirational people, T.D. Jakes. I love listening to people passionately who are passionate about life. Those are my self-care moments. And then making sure I'm connected with Mother Nature, being outside. I think sometimes the technology thing, we're so connected, and I can feel myself as soon as I wake up wanting to be reconnected, like a plug.
Yeah.
Just wanting to be plugged back. But, unplug yourself and get back on the ground, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I love that. What's one thing that you would like our audience, everyone, the world to know about you that you haven't said already?
Ooh, good question. Don't underestimate me, and just watch out for what I got going on in my life. And pro tip, this is for anybody: always under promise and over deliver. It'll always make you look good, if that makes sense. And for my people who understand what I'm saying, you'll get what I'm saying. But always under promise, over deliver in anything that you do.
Yeah.
Because then people will really gravitate towards you, because they'll be like, oh my God, this person's going out of their way. And so right now, I'm not telling you guys a lot. I'm just telling you, look, this is what I'm gonna do. But it's vague enough, so when I do deliver, you'll be like,
talking about.
Yeah. So that also gives you room as an individual to kind of work out what you got going on.
Yes.
And I feel like sometimes you shouldn't solidify your future right away. And because you never know where life will take you.
That's true.
Yeah.
So my last question is always, what advice do you have for creative women who are chasing a dream and want to tell a story? Would that be the advice, or do you have something specific that you can give us, and then give it to this camera right here?
I have a lot of advice for y'all. My number one advice is please create community. Like, you need people who are going to support you. You need your sisters. Like, you need them. You need them. Lean on them. Be vulnerable with them. Art is vulnerable because art imitates life. So really lean into your community. Ask them for help. You cannot do this alone. And asking is free. Like, it doesn't cost anything. So just really tap into your community, tap into your resources, because if you ever feel frustrated, just remember the time that our parents didn't have any of this. Any of this. You're watching this maybe on your phone or on your computer. They didn't have any of this. So go back to that time and remember that there was a time it took 3 months for a letter to get across to somebody. Mm-hmm. You know, or you had to call somebody to meet them up. And if they didn't show up, then they just didn't show up. Yep. And you didn't have any way to get in contact with them. Don't get too comfortable. Don't ever get too comfortable. So just lean into who you are, create a community, and don't get too comfortable.
I love it. Thank you so much,
Thank
Novi.
you.
I really appreciate it. I love speaking with you. You've given such great advice.
What's up, family? It's your girl, Novi Brown from SISTAS on BET every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. I just sat down with Create Her Collective. I mean, we had a pretty dope conversation. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, all right? Hashtag SISTAS on BET. If you want to catch up with me, catch me at I am Novi Brown on all platforms. And you know, I like it raw. I'm a Scorpio. You ain't gonna hurt my feelings. So come over, family, and see you on the other side.